keep going. Lots of people stop in business for different projects, different things, like we talked about getting stuff. Just keep going, because think about the time you'll save and think about the difference. Most people go into business because they want to make a difference, right? And they really want to serve their clients and their customers. You can serve them so much better in this way, and you can serve so many more people. So don't stop. Do not stop. Just keep going.
Hello, Profit First entrepreneurs and thought leaders. I am so excited. We have a very special guest today. We have Dr. Robin Owens. And Dr. Owens, she is the founder of Masterful Course Creations, LLC. She is also a speaker, author, as well as a college professor. And outside of the classroom, Dr. Owens helps coaches, consultants, and trainers turn their books into masterful courses. She's also a host of a podcast called Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin. She's an author of two upcoming books, Purpose-Based Decisions, an inspirational guide to meaning more and purpose, and how to turn your nonfiction book into a masterful course. When Dr. Owens is not working, she is walking in the park, laughing with friends, or delighting over the fact that she convinced her nieces and nephews that she is the cool one. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Owens to the platform. Hey, Dr. Owens, how are you doing today?
I'm laughing at that ending, even though I say it all the time, but it's so true. Hi, Suzanne. It's good to be here. So glad to be with you.
Well, we're excited to have you. And this is a really great topic because, I've worked with entrepreneurs. They have achieved their profit first percentages. And they're like, you know what? I think I need to teach this to the world now, like how I did this. And today we're going to talk about how to create a course, like literally what goes into a course, whether you're looking to franchise your business now that you've optimized it on profit first, or, you're looking to create an additional source of revenue, right? This can be a great thing. So I'm excited to talk about this class.
Yes, I'm excited too. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for being here. So tell me, first of all, we love the backstory. Dr. Owens, how did you get into working with authors to help them create masterful courses?
Yes, I am a teacher at heart. In my heart, that's what I do automatically, but I also do it as a profession. As you mentioned in the bio, I am a college professor and I love it. I just love teaching. And every semester, I have a certain amount of courses that I teach. The university says, here, all you have to do is follow these guidelines. This is the topic. I find a book and then I create a course from the book. But there are things that happen in between there, but I just love that process. And so a couple of years ago, as I was doing that, it just popped in my mind. I said, I wonder if I could help business owners, entrepreneurs, speakers, authors, coaches. I wonder who else outside of this university system I could help with creating a course, because I enjoy it so much. It will supplement my income and my business. And so I thought, well, let me just try it. So I said, all right, I'm going to try it. But before that, let me back up a little bit in my story. That was just around the time where my first book came out and it was published. And I thought, well, I'll create a course for the university from my book. And when I started that process, for some reason, I got stuck. I just got stuck in my head with fear, because now I'm talking about my work, all the kind of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that. And now it's time for me to turn it into a course, even though I had done for over a decade, been doing that with success, figured out the right ways, took out the wrong ways to do it. But when it came to my book, somehow my emotions got all caught up in there. And I was in my own way and got stuck. So then I took some time out and said, it's almost time for me to submit it to the university. I have to do this. So to step away from all that emotional turmoil that was going on inside of my head, I said, well, just look back and just follow the steps that you have been taking over a decade. Take all your best practices and just put it out in step-by-step form. And so I did that. And then I followed it. And I was like, this is my own system. So I followed my system, created that course for the university. It was a huge success. All right. So now then fast forward to that point where I said, I wonder if this would be useful for other people. So for a few months, I said, well, I'm not going to, make a big deal about it. I'm just going to kind of do it very casually. And I started doing it. And people were telling me, speakers, authors, coaches, entrepreneurs, this is really making a big difference for my business. And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. So then I turned it into a business because it helps me to explore my passion further, right, of creating courses and to make a difference for those people who are making a difference through their businesses. And so it's my way of having a greater impact because I can only do so much from where I am. And so now they can take their course and impact so many more people than I would ever be able to do. And that gives me a sense of meaning and purpose, which is a real core value of mine and a driver. So that's how I got started. I started doing that and been loving it since then till now.
I love it. I love it. It's so hard sometimes talking about our own work. Sometimes it's just easier to talk about others. And I think that's a lot of things that our entrepreneurs struggle with, right? It's that bragging on yourself, the talking about the things that you're doing. But you bring so much to the world, right? With your experience and the lessons that you've learned, and they're there to share, right? They're there to share. So Dr. Owens, when you look at creating a course, right? And we obviously want this course to sell. We want this course to be impactful, right? Life-changing would even be better. What are some of the important elements that go into, I'm going to call it a life-changing course?
Yes, I love that you say that because that's kind of what I say to people. I said, I know how to help you create a course that's not just informational. I mean, information is important. We need information, but we want to move beyond information to transformation. So not just informational, but transformational, that they make a difference in the person's life that's taken that course. And there are specific ways to do that. And because I have the benefit of teaching and understanding how people learn and how adults learn, and have also have the experience of doing the structure, I bring that to it, right? And so people seem to be mystified about what is a course anyway? Like, what is it? Like, it's this mysterious thing. And how do you do it, right? So there's three components. And think about it, three parts to it. What you want to say, the content, the curriculum. And of course, that's the part I'm most passionate about because I say it has to be done in a particular way in order, which we'll get back to in a moment. All right. So we have the content/curriculum piece, which is not as daunting as it sounds. All right. And get back to that too. Curriculum, content. Second piece is the tech. So the platform. The learning management system is the language that is used for that, the platform that you will house your course on. That's where people mostly focus on, and they think that's the course. But you can hire someone, for example, who knows platforms and knows systems, but they don't know about your content or how to structure it in a way that you're not just giving information and transformation. So we have curriculum, the tech, and then the third piece is the marketing. And the marketing is getting it out there, which if you've done the first part right and the second part looks good, you can do the third part. So those are the three main components of the framework of a course.
I love it. And then those you guys who are authors, you guys know, I know one of the things that I did not expect when I wrote my book was, I was in creating a whole nother business. Just like your business, you have to get out and market. You have to do the same thing with the book. Nobody buys a book that they never heard of, right? People buy books that have buzz, right? And you're creating a business. And that's the same way it is with a course is you're creating a business, right? A line of business for that. So I can definitely see where that marketing component is really important from that standpoint. So let's say someone is wanting to create a course. Dr. Owens, what is the first thing this person needs to do in order to create a successful course?
The first thing they have to do is believe that they can do it. Because I talk to many business owners and they say, whether they have a book or not, I focus primarily on people with books, but I also work with other business owners who don't have books. Do I have something to say? It's almost like they're asking, is it worthy of a course? And so I say to them, and hopefully they begin to believe, if you walk someone from point A to point B in your business, you can successfully turn that into a course. So if they start one place, point A, and when they're done with you, they're in point B, that transformation easily can be turned into a course. So that's the first step. Know that it can be done and that you have it. And the way to do that is, now, of course, we have a short amount of time here on the podcast. So I'll just give you kind of high level overview of it. document the steps, point A to B. I help them do this, 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 and this. And I recommend 5 steps only, because more than that, people, it's overwhelmed. You can do another course if you want. Less than that, it's a little bit not enough for them to really follow your train of thinking. So 5 steps. So let's take an example. Let's take your work, Suzanne. Do you have a process for, you might have several different areas of business that you do, but is there one area where you have a place where you help people get from point A to point B?
Yeah, definitely. It starts with figuring out where they are, right? Where they are versus where they want to go, and really taking that assessment.
Yeah. So that would be the first step in your course, to walk them through that process. And then the next 4 things that you do with them to get them to the next phase. That would be the curriculum piece of your course. Now, one of the strategies for transformation and not just information is to do what I've said. Be very selective. Don't try to do everything in one course. Focus on solving one problem, one course, one problem. Only address that. Some people get sidetracked because they know so much. They want to pour all their information and knowledge, and they care about people. They want to give them as much as possible, and they think giving them more helps them. No, that's a mistake. It's a myth. It's not the more information you give, the better. It's the way you give the information that's better. All right. So 5 steps. That's what I would say. Start with that. That's your curriculum piece. Once you get that taken care of, the platform piece, you could have somebody who's familiar with platforms, or now they make them so, easy to follow. You can do it yourself, have your team do it. They take that information and put it into the platform. Now, let me pause here and see if you have any questions, if you're following me.
No, this is great. This is really great. Thank you, Dr. Owens.
All right. And so then it's in the platform, your team or you or somebody uploaded it. And by the way, for people who haven't seen any of these platforms, they make it so easy. It's just as easy as uploading and downloading an attachment on the email. So once you have the information, you can upload your videos, upload your audios, your PDFs, whatever you want. So once you have the tech piece done from your team or yourself, then the time is to market it. And this is the best way to market, like you probably do for everything else when you first start. You do sort of a pilot group with a warm audience. It's the same thing. Say, for example, you've been walking somebody or a group of people through that 5-step process in person or through your business. Just have them say, hey, I have a more streamlined way to do this. Would you be interested in doing it quicker, faster, and easier? And we can talk about the results when we meet. So that's the first step with the marketing, and it starts from there. I've seen it over and over again with my clients.
I love it. And who doesn't want it quicker and faster, right?
Exactly.
And so I'm curious, Dr. Owens, when you're creating a course, where do you see courses go wrong? What are the mistakes that course creators make that we should be avoiding?
Yes. Let me reiterate the one I mentioned before. They think, oh, if I have 20 modules, and by the way, modules is just the term we use for sections of the course, right? I have 20 modules. I have 500 pages of PDFs. So they think it's very valuable. Big mistake. Big mistake. Just think of yourself. You don't have the time to go through all that. You want to make sure people are following along in the way that they could see they're making progress along the way. So that's the first one, and that's the biggest one. The second one that I'll highlight here is that people focus and overemphasize the tech piece. What platform? Sometimes they'll stall. I don't know what platform to use. I don't know how to use it. I don't know which one. What should I do? I get the best one. And they just get stuck. And after a little while of that, they don't move forward because they couldn't get past that piece. It's a mistake to think that that's the most important part. Of course, that's important because you want people to be able to use the platform easily, but all the platforms are set up in the way that they're beautiful and they have ease. You can't go wrong. Take any of the top 5 platforms out there and they all can make your course beautiful. It just depends on, they have different features. One has more than the other. It's like the phones, right? iPhone might have more features than some other phone. It depends on what you want. Same thing with those platforms. So don't get stuck in there. That's the main problem, mistake that I think people solve. And then the third one that I'll mention And the last one is, after you do it, don't get stuck like I did. The mistake is, I was talking about when I was taking my first book and turning it into a course, I let my brain waste time. I started getting in my way. When that happens, the best thing to do is to take action. It's the best thing to get you out of being stuck. So a big mistake is just staying there and waiting for it to stop. Waiting for all that's going on and holding you back and all the overwhelm, waiting for it to stop. Don't wait. Take action immediately. Tell one person, give it to one person, try one thing. So those are the main three mistakes I think people make when they think about creating a course.
That is so good. I can't tell you how many times I regret, just getting stuck and, just not wanting to hit the enter button or analysis paralysis, as we call it from the accounting world, And, you're right. The best thing you can do to move out of it, because you're wasting so much energy, right? Whether it's be mental energy or time, or even losing the opportunity, right? Because the opportunity costs because you're stuck spinning your wheels. It's about just getting started. For me, I know what hack is, I let my admin hit the go button, I let her do the posts. And so I don't even think about it, because I'll tell you, half the stuff that goes up there, I probably would be like, so I would have not have put that up there, I would have definitely have stopped. So definitely, just not getting an analysis paralysis is extremely important from that standpoint. So when it comes to course creation, what do you think is the most important thing? What is the most important thing when it comes to doing a course?
You mean to do it, or the most important benefit?
The most important thing to make sure it gets done with the
Yeah,
course.
I would say to do it and keep going. Once you start, keep going. Lots of people stop in business for different projects, different things, like we talked about getting stuck. Just keep going, because think about the time you'll save and think about the difference. Most people go into business because they want to make a difference, right? And they really want to serve their clients and their customers. You can serve them so much better in this way, and you can serve so many more people. So don't stop. Do not stop. Just keep going. If you hear nothing else from my voice, just keep going. Just keep going. And we've heard during the pandemic, we heard this word a lot, pivot, right? But, change, even in a course, you might have to change some things, tweak some things, but just keep going. Because if you wanted to in the beginning, if there was something on your mind and in your heart to do this, to create a course, it was there for a reason. There's something that your business is calling you to open up more, to spread your wings wider. And this will free up some of your time so you can actually get to the things that are actually calling you. So you can use the best of who you are. Because that's what business is all about, is using the best of who we are to serve others. But if you're using all your time and talent and energy on things that you've already grown away from, it's not the best use of your time. So when you're taking the course, it's taking this weight and this burden off your shoulder. So the next part of you, the part of you that's trying to come forth, can come forth and be expressed to your business, and you can make a bigger difference, a bigger impact, and more profit.
I love it. I love it. Now, Dr. Owens, one of the things that we like to ask all of our guests as we're closing out is, if you could leave our viewers and our listeners with one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
My advice would be, and it sounds a little abstract, but it's similar to what I just said now. Take a moment, because sometimes we're so busy, right? We're just doing all the things, task, task, task. Take a moment, step back, think about what you're doing, think about the vision for your business, and think about what you've been doing lately. And ask yourself the question that I alluded to earlier. In what ways, today in my business, where I am at this juncture, in what ways is my business reflecting the best of who I am?
Very well said. How is your business reflecting the best of who you are?
Yeah.
Very, very good. Good advice there. A lot to think about on that one.
It
I think
is.
some of us need to take a weekend and go think about that.
It does. It does take some thinking time. You're right. And some reflection, because sometimes we get away from ourselves in a business. And I think that's where the purpose and the profit and the meaning is in that.
I love it. So Dr. Owens, how do our viewers, how do our listeners reach out to you? How do they find you, follow you to learn more?
Yes. I'm on all social media, but I hang out most at LinkedIn at Robin L. Owens, Ph.D., at Robin L. Owens, Ph.D. on all social media. But like I say, I'm mostly on LinkedIn. And if you're thinking, hey, I'm kind of thinking about a course, I might want to do it, whether you have a book or not. I primarily focus on books, but if you have a process or a speech or something else that you work with, I can help you with that. Just head on over to my website, createmasterfulcourses.com, createmasterfulcourses.com, and I'll be sure to get you on the road to creating a masterful course.
And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and drop Dr. Robin Owens' information in our show notes so that you guys that are driving right now, we don't want any accidents.
No
So you'll be able to pull over when you get to a safe place and scroll down there and click on the links to get to her. So thank you so much, Dr. Owens, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom.
It was a joy to be here, and I'm wishing the best for everybody in their businesses and all that you're doing. You're all doing a great job, everyone. Keep up the good work. And you too, Suzanne.
Thank you.